Have you seen a rookie or a young guy that blew your doors off?
Oh, yeah, Shai Gilgeous.
He won't be afraid of anybody, but he won't offend anybody. It'll be more by what he does working and how he performs in games than it will be fussing and yelling. That's not who he is. He just plays.
The 2025's NBA Western Conference Finals MVP, regular season MVP, leading scorer in the NBA, on his way to winning Finals MVP, and a future champion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an absolute dominating season, 68-win regular season, on his way to reaching basketball immortality, being one of the faces of the league, a top-notch superstar. The Canadian sensation hasn't always been one of those popular names coming into the league. In fact, overlooked for much of his short time with the Clippers, being the 11th overall pick, Oklahoma City wasn't talked about until last season, being on the rise. Now the national media has to respect SGA and the Thunder. Officially a top 3 player in the game, Shai's name didn't cross people's minds 2 years ago. Many couldn't believe he's reached these unparalleled heights, but a couple NBA experts from years ago has super high praises for young Gilgeous-Alexander, knowing from day one he'd be truly special, whether he was still in Kentucky or within the first couple seasons in the league. Brian Windhorst recalls the story of the late great Jerry West on how Shai ended up on the Clippers.
The Clippers kind of had Jerry West, now that he's no longer with us. Jerry West basically identified Shai and promised Shai. I mean, obviously the Clippers were on board, but promised Shai and convinced Shai and his agent that he wanted to be a Clipper and got him to shut down all other workouts and, threaten, do whatever agents do to try to guide a player to, and part of the reason why Shai slipped, he was obviously good at Kentucky, but it wasn't like he was a guaranteed top 3 pick or whatever. But part of the reason Shai slipped all the way to 12th, I think it was 12th, was because Jerry West, and I don't want to give him too much credit. I don't want to offend Lawrence Frank or the Clippers front office, obviously, whatever. But I know because the agent told me the story about what Jerry West did. So, go take it up with him if you don't believe me. But, part of the reason that he was a guy in that draft, he was a bit of a player of mystery. Sorry.
In an interview of Clutch Points back in September 2018, Clippers special counselor Jerry West said, Shai's just going to be a tremendous player in the league. So young, he's got instincts that sets him apart from other players. He's going to be a really good player. Obviously, Shai's going to attract a lot of attention the way he plays. SGA expressed his admirations for the logo, humbly responded by trying to pick his brain, learn as much from him as possible. Former college coach John Calipari on what Shai will bring to the Thunder after the Clippers trade.
I think he will help add to the culture of what they're trying to do with the Thunder. I mean, I look at him and can't tell you how much better he's gotten, how he's not fazed. He wasn't fazed by the playoffs. I went to the game when they played Golden State. I mean, was not fazed. And he had to play well for them to have a chance to win. But they did not want to lose him. I mean, the Clips were we have to do this, but we have no choice. So you guys got a good one.
Coach Cal continues on describing Shai's relentless work ethic.
He wasn't rated like the other guys, and he had to improve his shot. He had a really slow release. And so every morning, he was either in the gym shooting or watching video of himself playing, trying to get a mental picture of what we wanted. But he was doing it every morning and in the weight room because he was skinny. He, more than anyone on that team, gave the greatest effort. And in practice, he brought it every practice. And what you find out is it starts to add up.
Cal then brings up another great vet, which turns out to become one of Shai's greatest mentors.
Chris Paul will be great for him as a, quote, mentor, who can do stuff if he's there with the team. I think they can play together. And Chris is one of those guys that if it's time for Shai to have his hands on it, he'll let him go. And if it's time for him to make plays, Chris Paul, he'll do it. But they can play off of each other. I think it's going to be something that's good.
It's been really cool playing with Shai because one of the biggest things from the younger generation as they come through the NBA, you can't tell what hand they are, if they right-handed or left-handed. The way Shai uses his off hand is crazy. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of plays. We'll be in a timeout, and I'll be like, look, Shai, when I used to go by people, this is the play that I would run. So now we're going to run it for you. You know what I mean? So his ability to get to the rim and his ability to draw fouls and all that. It's been cool to see.
Cal on Shai taking over games and what he did at Kentucky.
He's the one that took over games, and he's not afraid to do it. If he struggled, my team struggled that year. We had good players. You know, we had good guys. But when it was time to take over, he was the guy that took over. So no, I have no, and when I watched that NBA game, he's playing basketball. He's not fazed by any of that stuff. Those are the kind of guys you follow. You ready for this? Very steady. His demeanor's not going to change a whole lot. He's not going to have the up and down. He brings it. He just brings it. And it's because it's how he practices, how he prepares. He did not start probably the first 8, 9, 10 games. After about 5 games, I went up to him and I said, look, you're a starting guard. I'm comfortable with this rotation. You're still playing almost 30 minutes a game, but I'm comfortable. He said, Coach, I trust you. I'm good. If you want me off the bench, I'll come off the bench. None of it matters. After 10 games, I said, that's it. This kid is starting. And from that point on, our team changed.
Cal continues on about Shai's incredible work ethic.
You have to do it through work. And it was probably February something. And I just said, Rob, who's the best in the weight room? Shai, not close. Michael, who's the best doing their work academically, not missing a tutor, doing what they're supposed to be in class? He said, Shai. And I said, and you all know, in practice, he's our best player every single day. And you know what? He's playing himself into a lottery pick. He's playing himself into a lottery pick. That is a great lesson. And I've continued to tell that story to recruits. I don't care where you're ranked. It doesn't matter. That's ego stuff. I look, are you good enough to help us win? And are you the type of player that will benefit by coming to Kentucky? Because if you think I'm already there, I need no help, you know what? We're probably not the place.
Here's Doc Rivers on Shai's greatness.
We're getting Kawhi and Paul George. Was happy. Having said that, I did bring it up, and I did say, man, can we give them somebody else? Like, we cannot give up Shai. I even told Kawhi when he was saying, like, I need another guy. And Kawhi will verify. I kept saying, Kawhi, Shai's going to be a star. But how long? I said, I don't know how long, but he's going to be one. So I think we saw it. We didn't know it was going to be this.
You didn't know it was going to be this. Nobody knew.
Yeah, no one knows that. But we saw greatness, that this dude is going to be, he's going to be a hell of a player. He's a hell of a worker. He's coachable. He's everything that you want in a star player. And we did see that.
Kevin Durant speaks highly of rookie Shai on the Clippers.
We played against them early in the year, and man, he got the mid-range down. His mid-range is so good. He shoot it with the high release, so it's hard to block at 6'6" when point guards guarding him.
Yeah.
So you got to put a 2-guard on him, and he's still shooting over 2 guards.
Right.
So I'm like, man, that size and at that age, he's just going. And once you learn how to shoot the mid-range, I feel like the 3-ball is going to be easier for you to shoot because it's hard to aim at the mid-ranges like that. He knocked them down consistently. So I like that he's tall too for that position. So he's probably the guy that I'm like stood out the most because I never watched him in college.
I was shocked because the guys at the Ringer really liked him as a possible prospect. And it didn't seem like he could shoot. I didn't see him in college.
I heard he couldn't shoot in college. I heard he was more like Rondo because I hear that a lot about point guards that's long that can't shoot.
Yeah.
Every one of them is like Rondo, and I'm like, Rondo's different. He's I don't see
Rondo's
anybody being
like
like that. Like Rondo's one of a kind. So I never really take that comparison serious. But he got length on him at the point guard position. His arms are long, and he can shoot it.
I like the way he carries himself too.
Yeah, he
carries himself like he's like an 8-year veteran.
He got confidence on him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the first time I saw him was actually the time you played him in LA.
Yeah, man.
And I was shocked that Doc was playing him in big moments because, like, when Doc coached the Celtics, he famously really wouldn't play Rondo enough as a rookie. It was really frustrating, and it was always like Doc, took him a while to earn the young guys to earn his trust.
Rondo
and now
was a late
Shai, he's throwing him
round
out
pick,
there. Oh, thank you.
Rondo was a late round pick. This dude was a lottery pick, so you had to play him.
Former teammate Patrick Beverley recalls his time with Shai and how he was different.
They say, Pat, we drafting this 6'6" rookie from the University of Kentucky. You're going to like him. So I'm like, you mean I'm going to like him? Y'all trying to get him up, take my position. Shai comes in, right? And I didn't call Shai. I called him Slink. He was like slinky-ish, like arms here, neck here. Like usually first day of practice, like with a rookie, I can punk a rookie, like punk the rookie. All right, cool. After I punk you, I'm gonna teach you now. When I mean punk, I mean like, take your ball. But with Shai, that's the only rookie that didn't go for that shit. He didn't go for none of that shit. Shai was the best rookie I've probably ever been around in my entire life.
Pat Bev continues on about Shai's discipline and potential.
Lou goes, no, Pat, he can hoop. right? So I go up to Shai and I'm like, hey bro, you know how good you is? He like, what do you mean? You got a chance to be really good in this league. He like, what do you mean really good? I'm like, bro, you have a chance to be a superstar. He like, what do you mean superstar? I'm like, you got a chance to be Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And he couldn't believe me. He was kind of shocked. I mean, a phenomenal rookie, was never late. Like, we never had to popcorn his car, never do nothing crazy shit like that. Like, he got the donuts every day. Like, elite rookie. It was so hard to, like, get in his shit, take his ball. Like, it was so hard. Like, you know, he was never the rookie that went out, smoked or drink, none of that.
Big Wass on the Zach Lowe show shared what the Clippers thought of Shai when he was a rookie.
I had just started working for The Athletic midway through Shai's rookie year. And I remember I would go to damn near every single Clippers game. And I remember talking to one guy that works for the Clippers and him being like, yo, we think Shai is the next Penny Hardaway. And I remember being offended by that. I was like, are you out of your mind? Penny Hardaway, like whatever, right? Doc even played him as a rookie, which is like a miracle. I remember Sam Cassell was working with this kid every freaking day before games. And now look at him.
The one-man rookie Shai worked out with throughout his tenure with the Clippers, none other than former NBA champ Sam Cassell.
Like, we had Shai in LA. And he presented something that I haven't seen in the league in a long time. And I told Doc, and I said, Doc, this boy can be special.
Assistant Coach Cassell on working out with Shai in Canada and teaching him some tricks.
Doc sent me to Toronto to spend some time with him. And Shai's from Hamilton, like 45 minutes outside of Toronto. I'll go down, working him out and everything. Don't you teach Shai, the left hand scoop layups and everything? Use the angles of the backboard. And just watching the kid work, man, like, and the thing that people don't say, Shai is 6'6".
For real, he's not no little guard.
He's 6'6", man.
Yeah.
Cassell continues on.
Athletic, had a mid-range jump shot. Which everybody say, don't take the mid-range shot. I say, man, if you let somebody take this mid-range, your mid-range jump shot out of your bag, you crazy.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna put your best interest. The analytic thing, shoot the three, you know what I'm saying? But the analysts don't teach confidence. They don't teach confidence. So we traded him from the Clippers. I was like, Doc, really? Kawhi wouldn't have came unless PG.
Yeah, I remember that, how that went.
I was like, man, this boy can be special. He may get another extension. Year after next.
Oh, no, he
getting
about
one.
to kill him.
85 mil.
A year.
He gonna get it. Because he's a good dude. He got one ejected. Basketball. He don't hang, he don't drink, he don't nothing. He just play basketball. He's a kid now. He got married now, has a kid now. So, but his whole rookie year, I just groomed him about being a pro. Not just about basketball. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? When I do get a chance of being a head coach, it's just grooming guys about being a pro.
After Shai's trade, many weren't thinking about OKC and their future, but ESPN's Bobby Marks and Royce White talked about what he can do with the departure of Russ Westbrook.
The second-year player, though, says he's not feeling any pressure to fill in for Russell Westbrook. Here's what he said about joining OKC. Quote, I'm not Russell Westbrook. We don't have the same name, the same body type, nothing like that. So I'm going to try to be myself and be the best me, and everything else will just take care of itself.
They discussed the 21-year-old's maturity and approach.
Here's a player that was close to untouchable in Los Angeles, and they did not want to put him in that Paul George trade. That was kind of the last piece to be added there, but the reality is this is going to be a lottery team. So it's got to be as far as do not fall into, we always see young players fall into bad habits when they go to teams that win 25 and 30 games. I think he's got to kind of continue those habits that he had in Los Angeles with when he played under Doc Rivers.
And for him to kind of try to distance himself and say, let me be my own guy, let me develop at my own pace, I think that shows a sign of maturity from him to kind of understand that it's smart to distance himself from Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Lou Williams gets emotional after Shai's MVP announcement.
This is my rook, right? And a lot of times when guys come in the league and you have rookies, you see them grow and you start to see them develop and they go on with their careers with other teams, or, if you're lucky enough to stick around with guys for a number of years, you see the maturity.
Shares his approach from day one.
With Shai, I saw it from day one. Like, he was always a player that was responsible, carried himself as a mature professional, he always had big aspirations. He always knew what his end game was. He never was confused about who he was and what his abilities were. So he put the work in. And that's one thing that I can say about him. From day one, this is a guy that put the work in, always carried himself as an adult, and was just mature, just years and years ahead of his time. And you knew something special was going to come out of that. Even though we had an opportunity to get Paul George in that trade, we were heartbroken about Shai leaving.
Lou will on what type of player Shai was going to be.
When you say what his potential may be, we thought he was going to be a really good player, all-star player, That's what we thought. MVP, not in my wildest dreams. Now, Shai, I'm sure he had goals. I'm sure that's something that he saw on his vision board and he wanted to chase it. I didn't see MVP style. I didn't see that. But to see this come into fruition for somebody like him, who you saw it from day one, I couldn't be more happy for a guy.
Written by The Athletic 2019, Shai already in OKC. Lou Williams quoted, "I think Shai's gonna be a star. I'm just happy for him that he's finally striving. He's made so many jumps just over the summer, working on his game, working on his body. You can see the difference in how he's played. He's grown. I'm so happy for him." Just recently, CP3 talks about who Shai is as a person and their time together in OKC.
And I try not to get emotional when I talk about Shai, man, because that was my first year living without my family, right? Without my wife and my kids in LA. And man, Shai, he just a basketball head, right? You show me somebody love basketball and crazy about their family, then me and them gonna be tight, right? And so Shai would come over to my house before practice just to eat, because I had a chef. You know what I'm saying? Night after games, Shai at my house, him and Darius Baisley, Lou Dort or whatnot. So he's so good when it come to hooping, and he's just an even better person, and I mean that.
On the NBA GM survey 2018-19 edition, Shai did get the most votes on being the steal of the draft. After Shai posted 11 points, 4 assists in his debut, written by Kenneth Haas of Clipperholics, the then 20-year-old youngest player on the roster, as offensively gifted as they come, a writer named Shia Mirsai of Wonders Twins Entertainment writes, "If he played 2 more minutes, Clippers probably win the game. He needs to be a huge part of Doc's rotation. More importantly, this organization, his wingspan's remarkable, with tremendous size at 6'6", especially if he stays at the point guard spot like he feels like he should. Credits Jerry West and Lawrence Frank knew this all along." Also points out, hoping young Shai could be a Jason Tatum-like contributor if he's given the minutes. 7 years later, it's been proven Shai surpassed JT as a complete player. Not only was Gilgeous-Alexander's step-back jumper mean, but a resemblance to Kemba Walker-esque type player in the making, having the minds of a competitor and team-oriented facilitator. He isn't going to the basket dumbfounded every time he gets the ball. He is strategically attacking, looking for the open teammate, or finding the open lane. From humble beginnings, elite work ethic, gaining knowledge from some of the best, SGA himself will continue proving doubters wrong. Regardless of your opinion on the now 26-year-old, we're all witnessing greatness in present time. Gilgeous-Alexander in pursuit of title number 1. It's only a matter of time till he hoists that Larry O'Brien trophy.